I think I traumatized a home invader. My parents were leaving me home alone for the first time while they went on a date, and my dad said to me, "You're the man of the house now." I was only 6, so I was terrified of being home alone, and said, "Dad, please don't go. I'm scared." My dad then thought for a second and went to the garage. He came back and said, "I got something for you," and handed me a giant axe for chopping wood. "You can fight them off with this, buddy." He patted me on the back and assured me everything would be fine and nobody would break in. I watched them drive away, and since I was 6 years old, I was terrified. I just went downstairs to play video games, but not even 5 minutes after my parents left, I heard a weird scraping sound. I didn't think much of it at first. Fortnite has all kinds of random audio, but something about it felt off, so I muted my TV. The scraping was still there. Then I heard banging. Someone was banging on the back door. My first thought was that my dad was pranking me, but I had to check. I went up the basement steps and peeked around the corner and did not see my dad. There was a guy dressed in all black, and he was ripping through our screen door, not knocking, not trying the handle, ripping it apart with his hands and climbing inside. I remember the feeling of panic setting in, and I instantly started screaming silently. He was literally climbing into our house, and I booked it back downstairs before he saw me. I instantly started looking for my phone, but when I remembered I left it charging upstairs on the counter, my heart started beating even faster. I was screaming into the pillow, freaking out. He must have been watching our house waiting for my parents to leave, because they literally just drove away, and now I was trapped in the basement with no way to call for help. I started pacing, running my hands through my hair, trying not to hyperventilate. How could a 6-year-old stop a fully grown man who probably had a gun? I could hear him rummaging through our kitchen, and knew he'd eventually come downstairs to get my PS5. It was only a matter of time. Then I looked over at the axe. It was still leaning against the stairs where I'd left it, and I heard my dad's voice in my head, "You're the man of the house now," and something in me snapped. I knew I didn't have time to think, and had to defend my territory. I picked up the heavy axe and slowly crept up the stairs. I peeked around the corner, and saw him still going through our kitchen drawers. He took my phone off the charger and put it in his pocket, but that's when I noticed he had a Glock tucked into the back of his pants. I instantly froze up, because if this guy turned around and saw me, I was for sure getting shot. I walked up behind him as quietly as I could, and raised the axe over my head, ready to swing. My arms were shaking from the weight and from pure terror, but then this thought popped into my head. Wait, if I kill him, do I go to juvie? I didn't know what to do, but as I stood there, he started to turn around. He closed the drawer and looked behind him. I had to do something right now. He saw me, so I did the only thing I could think of. I screamed at the top of my lungs, "Ah!" And then I just threw the entire axe at him. The robber instantly grabbed his chest, coughing. The axe completely missed him, hitting the cabinet behind him, putting a dent in it. He kept coughing, and he tried to pull the Glock from his waistband, but his hand was shaking too badly. He grabbed onto the counter to steady himself, but his legs gave out and he collapsed onto the kitchen floor. I just stood there, frozen, watching this man have a heart attack in my kitchen. I stood there for probably 30 seconds just trying to process what had just happened. I had to flip him over to take my phone out of his pocket, and called my dad, crying. They rushed home with the police, and while they were giving him CPR, I remembered my Fortnite game. They thankfully got him breathing again, and I got the victory royale.